The grand chamber of the Galactic Council shimmered with the light of distant stars. Tall beings, each from a different corner of the galaxy, floated in the air, their eyes glowing faintly. The room buzzed with quiet confidence, a power so immense it made planets tremble at their whispers. Today, the discussion was Earth. Humans? A silver-skinned counselor snorted, waving a hand dismissively. Barely evolved. Primitive, weak. How could they ever hope to survive in this galaxy? A deep, horned being chuckled. I heard they still fight with small metal sticks. Can you imagine? Against our fleets. Laughter echoed, a sound of pure certainty, filling the chamber. Earth was nothing to them. A tiny blue planet in a corner of the Milky Way, barely worth noticing. Yet, amidst the laughter, a faint unease stirred. Reports had come from the outer colonies. Messages that didn't match the Council's understanding of humans. Strange reports. They are preparing, said a star-born diplomat, his voice low, almost uncertain. The colonies say humans are not merely surviving. They are building something. Something dangerous. The chamber quieted. The laughter faded. The word dangerous hovered in the air like smoke. No one liked uncertainty. Dangerous. The silver-skinned one tilted his head. Dangerous how? They are weak, slow. They have barely survived our past scouting missions. What could they possibly be planning? But the diplomat only shook his head. We don't know. The signals are strange, untraceable by our usual scanners. And the humans, they are clever, very clever. We may have underestimated them. A ripple of tension passed through the council. No one liked being underestimated. Meanwhile, far from the Grand Chamber, on a small blue planet, humans were indeed quietly active. The sun rose over sprawling cities, and people went about their lives. Children laughed in schoolyards, markets bustled with chatter, and the familiar rhythm of life continued. Yet, beneath this ordinary surface, something extraordinary was happening. Deep underground, in hidden facilities scattered across continents, scientists worked tirelessly. Their eyes glowed with determination as they adjusted machinery, ran simulations, and whispered secret calculations. We must finish before they notice, said Dr. Mara Klein, her voice firm, though exhaustion lined her face. Around her, screens displayed strange patterns of energy, new weapons designs, and blueprints for ships unlike anything the world had ever seen. Soldiers trained in secluded areas. They moved with precision, practicing strategies that even the most advanced military powers would find difficult to predict. Their drills were relentless, their discipline absolute. Leaders held secret meetings in rooms with no cameras, no recorders, only trusted people at the table. Plans were drawn, contingencies prepared, and every possible scenario considered. No one outside knew. Earth's population continued in its daily rhythm, unaware of the storm quietly gathering beneath their feet. Yet, despite all precautions, the humans shared a quiet confidence. They were not reckless. They were aware of the danger posed by the Galactic Council. But they had something the Council had never counted on: ingenuity, resilience, and a stubborn refusal to give up. Reports of alien fleets approaching would likely spread panic among ordinary humans. But the leaders, soldiers, and scientists were calm. They had learned long ago that fear could be a weapon if used wisely, or a weakness if left unchecked. In one underground lab, Dr. Klein and her team gathered around a glowing hologram. A small blue dot rotated slowly in space, Earth. Lines of energy traced routes outward, connecting to distant moons, asteroids, and orbital platforms. This is only the beginning, she said quietly. They think we are weak. They laugh at us. But when the first signal goes out, they will know they misjudged us. Outside, in a quiet city park, children ran and laughed under the sun. No one could tell the difference between their innocence and the careful training of the soldiers hidden beneath the earth. Life moved normally, masking the preparation, hiding the storm that would soon break. Back in the Galactic Council chamber, the mood had shifted. Uncertainty replaced laughter. Eyes that once glowed with amusement now narrowed. What are they building? demanded the horned being. How are they hiding it from all our sensors? The diplomat leaned forward, his voice barely a whisper. That is what terrifies me. The council fell into silence, each member lost in thought. For the first time in centuries, they were not certain. And in the galaxy, uncertainty was dangerous. Meanwhile, Earth's preparations continued. Ships were designed in secret hangars, energy weapons tested in remote deserts, and communication networks fortified against interception. Humans had learned to anticipate danger long before the Council even noticed them. And they had patience. Patience to wait, to observe, to prepare. Every delay, every unnoticed step, only strengthened their position. "They think we are weak," said Captain Liam Torres, overseeing soldiers training in a hidden valley. "Let them laugh. When the first strike comes, they won't know what hit them." In the council chamber, the discussion continued late into the galactic night. The word dangerous lingered, repeated in whispers and cautious glances. Yet, the council, for all its knowledge and power, could not imagine what humans were truly capable of. And that was exactly how the humans wanted it. Because when the storm finally arrived, no laughter would remain. The Galactic Council could not shake the uneasy feeling that had settled over their chamber. For the first time in millennia, a single planet had caused doubt among the galaxy's most powerful beings. They had laughed at Earth, dismissed humans as weak, but now, whispers of secret preparations made them pause. "We need more information," said the horned being, pacing. "Send scouts. Examine every hidden corner. Do not underestimate them." Yet even as the orders were given, signals from the outer colonies returned only fragments. Ships were missing, transmissions scrambled, and reports of strange structures orbiting Earth's moons puzzled the Council's best analysts. Humans were hiding in plain sight. Far below the surface of Earth, the preparation intensified. Underground corridors stretched for miles, filled with glowing screens, whirring machines, and the quiet hum of controlled energy. Scientists and engineers worked side by side with soldiers, a perfect balance of minds and muscle. "This sequence should stabilize the energy grid," Dr. Mara Klein said, her fingers flying across the holographic controls. Sparks of light danced in the air as a new prototype powered up, filling the room with a hum like a heartbeat. "If this works, we'll have enough energy to shield the cities and launch defensive systems at a moment's notice." Her assistant, a young engineer named Tarek, frowned at the calculations. "The Council may already be monitoring our solar activity. We can't risk detection." "We won't," Dr. Klein said with quiet confidence. "They think we are weak. They think we are easy to predict. That is our advantage." In remote deserts, forests, and mountains, squads of soldiers trained relentlessly. They moved like shadows, blending into the environment, learning every trick of stealth and strategy. Each team had a mission, a plan within a plan, ready to act at the first sign of an attack. Captain Liam Torres watched his team from a ridge. His eyes were sharp, scanning the horizon as if he could see the distant fleets of the Council in his mind. "Remember," he said, his voice steady and calm, "we are not just defending, we are preparing. Every move we make, every step we train for, is a part of the larger plan. One day, the galaxy will realize humans are not so simple to defeat." Back in the cities, life continued normally. Streets were crowded, cars honked, and children played under the sun. No one noticed the quiet construction of hidden bases beneath their feet. No one knew that their world was being transformed into a fortress, a shield against powers far beyond imagination. Even the Council scouts could not fully understand. Strange energy patterns flared around Earth, quickly hidden again. Communications that should have been easy to intercept were scrambled and rerouted. Every probe sent into orbit returned partial data, leaving analysts frustrated. Humans were clever, adaptable, and relentless. "They are not just preparing," murmured the silver-skinned counselor during a secret meeting. "They are evolving, faster than we anticipated." But humans did not wait for recognition. They did not fight for glory or fear. They fought for survival, for the preservation of their world, and for something deeper, a stubborn belief that they were capable of more than anyone had ever imagined. In a hidden laboratory beneath the Arctic ice, Dr. Klein and her team activated a massive holographic display. Star systems stretched across the air, connected by glowing lines and energy nodes. "This is more than defense," she said, her voice low and determined. "We're creating the capability to strike if necessary. We're preparing for what they can't even imagine." The words hung in the room. Engineers nodded silently, aware of the risk but fueled by a sense of purpose. They worked with precision, every machine calibrated, every test run repeated. Failure was not an option. Above ground, satellites passed overhead, invisible to ordinary eyes. Signals buzzed across oceans and continents, connecting hidden bases and ensuring communication remained unbroken. Humans had built a network that even the Council struggled to detect. And then came the night when something unexpected happened. A probe, one of the Council's smallest, most advanced ships, slipped undetected into Earth's orbit. Its mission was reconnaissance, to gather intelligence about the strange preparations. Yet when it scanned the planet, it detected nothing unusual. The sensors recorded only ordinary life. City lights, forests, oceans, clouds. It was as if Earth itself was hiding its heartbeat. The probe transmitted its data back to the Council. The reports came with confusion and disbelief. They see nothing," one counselor said, voice trembling. "Everything seems normal, but we know it cannot be. Something is hidden. Something is alive beneath the surface." Back in the underground control room, Dr. Klein smiled faintly at the blinking consoles. "They think they understand us," she whispered. "They think they see everything. But we are not what they expect." Captain Torres received a message on his secure channel. "The scout is above us," the voice said. "They think they are watching. Let them see what appears normal. Let them believe we are weak. Our strength is in patience." Hours passed. The Council debated and strategized, unaware that the humans had already planned contingencies for every scenario. Every fleet they might deploy, every weapon they could use, had been anticipated. Humans were not only preparing, they were predicting. And as the probe returned, the humans continued their work, undisturbed. Every machine, every soldier, every scientist contributed to a larger vision, one that the Council could not yet comprehend. The galaxy thought it was watching a weak, primitive species. But Earth had secrets, hidden systems, secret weapons, and a resolve that no scout, no counselor, no powerful being could break. And soon, the calm before the storm would end. The shadows of resistance were growing, unseen and unstoppable. The humans were ready, and the Council had no idea what was coming. The Galactic Council's unease grew. For weeks, their scouts had reported nothing, no massive fleets, no visible weapon systems. Yet strange anomalies continued. Energy surges, altered orbits, and signals that vanished before analysis. "They are hiding something," the horned being growled, pacing in the Council chamber. "I can feel it. They are preparing. They are readying." A counselor from the Andromeda sector leaned forward, her tentacles quivering. "If they are preparing, we must strike first. If we hesitate, Earth could become a threat to the entire galaxy." Orders went out. Silent fleets accelerated through space, converging toward the small blue planet. Cloaked ships glided past stars, unseen by humans, or so the Council believed. Meanwhile, on Earth, preparations had reached a new intensity. Soldiers practiced rapid deployment drills, engineers tested energy shields, and scientists calibrated weapon systems with a precision that bordered on obsession. Captain Liam Torres stood before his unit in a hidden valley, eyes scanning the dark horizon. "They think they can come quietly," he said, voice steady. "They think they know us. Tonight, we see if they are right." In the Arctic lab, Dr. Mara Klein monitored satellite feeds, her fingers tracing lines of approaching energy. "They are moving faster than we predicted," she said. "The first contact. It may happen sooner than expected." The first signs of the Council's fleet appeared near the edge of the solar system. Tiny ships, invisible from Earth's surface, glimmered faintly in orbit, scanning for unusual activity. But the humans were ready. Automated defense platforms hummed to life beneath deserts, oceans, and mountains. Energy fields activated in precise patterns, cloaking installations from detection. Communication signals bounced off hidden satellites, creating false readings for any prying eyes. The probe from Part 2 had been only the beginning. Now, the Council's fleets faced a world bristling with hidden power, and the humans had already anticipated every possible trajectory the invaders might take. Captain Torres led a reconnaissance team to the surface. Under the cover of darkness, they moved silently through forests and valleys, observing strange lights above, the Council's scout ships. "They think they are hidden," Torres whispered. Let them see what they want. Let them think we are weak." At the Arctic lab, Dr. Klein initiated the first active test. Energy pulses surged through the hidden shields around major population centers. Lights flickered, patterns shimmered in the sky, and satellite images would have shown nothing unusual. The Council, watching from their distant chamber, sensed a subtle disruption. "They are interfering with our sensors," a silver-skinned counselor shouted. "Impossible. They should be defenseless. They are clever," the Horned being muttered, a rare note of fear in his voice. "Do not underestimate them. Strike carefully." But the humans were more than clever, they were prepared. Soldiers moved like shadows, activating silent traps and monitoring every possible angle of approach. Scientists adjusted energy flows in real time, predicting the Council's movements before they happened. A small skirmish occurred first. A scout ship approached an orbital platform near the Pacific. Automated defenses activated, invisible beams of energy intercepting and rerouting the ship without detection. The craft, confused and battered by unknown forces, retreated, sending fragmented data back to the Council. "Retreat?" one counselor gasped. "They are attacking? But they have barely any ships. They have something else," another whispered. "They are using the planet itself." Indeed, humans had learned to weaponize every aspect of their world. Hidden installations beneath the oceans and mountains contained energy grids, defensive turrets, and orbital relays capable of redirecting enemy attacks. Every surface appeared ordinary, but beneath it, Earth had become a fortress. Captain Torres returned to the hidden base, nodding at his team. "Phase 1 complete," he said. "They are testing us. Now we see how far they are willing to go." Dr. Klein monitored the data from the Arctic lab. Energy surges, sensor readings, and rapid calculations painted a picture of efficiency and coordination that no counselor could predict. Humans were not just defending. They were teaching the galaxy a lesson in patience, preparation, and cunning. In the Council chamber, the mood shifted from confidence to tension. They had underestimated Earth. They had laughed at humans. And now, for the first time, they were witnessing consequences. "This is only the beginning," the Horned being said grimly. "They are holding back for now, but we must adapt, or risk losing everything." And on Earth, humans remained calm. Life above ground continued as usual. Children slept in their beds, unaware of the fleets hovering in silent space, unaware that the first sparks of war had already ignited above their heads. The storm had begun, and when it fully descended, the galaxy would realize the truth. Humans were not weak. Humans were dangerous. The night sky above Earth seemed calm, almost ordinary, as if hiding the tension building beneath. Yet hidden sensors and secret satellites picked up faint energy fluctuations, precursors of something far greater than anyone on the planet could see. Captain Liam Torres stood on a ridge overlooking a dark valley, his eyes sharp. "They are coming," he said to his team. "Not scouts this time. Real ships. Stay sharp. Every move counts." Below the mountains, engineers and scientists monitored energy grids, shields, and weapon systems. Dr. Mara Klein's fingers flew across holographic controls as streams of data flowed in. Each calculation predicted the Council's fleet movements in real time. "They think they can overwhelm us," she murmured. "But they are only walking into what we've prepared." Far above, the Galactic Council's ships emerged from hyperspace, glinting in the light of distant stars. A small armada, sleek and deadly, approached Earth's orbit. Confidence radiated from the council chamber. They believed they could take the planet quickly, unaware of what awaited them. As the ships descended, automated defenses activated. Orbital platforms hidden in clouds and mountains flared to life, emitting energy pulses that disrupted sensors and scrambled communications. Scout ships faltered, misreading terrain and positions. The Council's commanders grew uneasy. On the ground, soldiers moved with precision, guided by Captain Torres. Teams split to cover multiple approaches, planting energy nets and silent traps designed to intercept incoming vessels. Every valley, every forest, every hill became a strategic point in Earth's defense. A sudden flash illuminated the horizon. A council ship attempted a direct strike on a remote facility, only to be repelled by a coordinated energy shield and automated countermeasures. Sparks of plasma danced across its hull, and it veered off course, sending a fragmentary alert back to the council. "They are stronger than expected," a silver-skinned counselor said, voice tense. "Impossible. They barely have fleets, and yet, they fight differently," the Horned being growled. "They use their world itself. They do not merely defend, they manipulate, anticipate, and adapt. This is unfamiliar." On Earth, Captain Torres's unit advanced silently through a canyon as another wave of ships tried to scout the area. Energy nets triggered automatically, capturing small craft in invisible fields. Explosions rocked the air, but no humans were harmed. Dr. Klein watched the feeds intently. "Every strike is predictable," she noted, "but not in the way they think. They learn from each attempt. We adapt faster than they can react." The first Council fleet commander was growing frustrated. "Pull back," he barked. "We cannot maintain formation. Their planet, it fights back." But retreat was complicated. Humans had anticipated escape routes, ambush zones, and interference tactics. Ships attempting to withdraw were delayed, rerouted, and even disabled without humans ever directly engaging them. On the ground, soldiers moved like shadows, unseen but everywhere. Coordinated maneuvers ensured that no council ship had a safe route. The humans were a living web of strategy, patience, and precision. Captain Torres paused, watching a scout craft crash silently behind a ridge. "They think they're in control," he muttered. "Let them believe it. We will take it all when the time is right." Dr. Klein adjusted energy flow in the Arctic lab. A ripple of power spread across the continent, reinforcing hidden shields and activating secondary defenses. Every city, every installation, every soldier was part of a vast network. The Council, watching from millions of miles away, struggled to comprehend. They are coordinating with the planet itself," a counselor whispered. "It is alive in ways we cannot measure." And for the first time, a new emotion surfaced in the chamber. Fear. Not for themselves, but for the sheer unpredictability of the humans. Above Earth, ships continued to falter, misled by invisible grids and automated defenses. Every misstep cost the Council resources and confidence. Their arrogance, once boundless, began to crack. On the surface, Captain Torres's soldiers advanced again, silent and precise, knowing the Council would soon push harder. Every step, every maneuver, every trap had been rehearsed countless times. Dr. Klein's voice echoed across the control room. "This is only the beginning. The storm is gathering. And soon, the galaxy will see the full strength of humans." The clash had begun in earnest. Shadows moved across valleys, mountains, and oceans. Invisible grids redirected fleets. Soldiers, scientists, and engineers worked as one. And in the council chamber, disbelief turned to alarm. The galaxy's most powerful beings realized, too late, that Earth was not just a planet to conquer. It was a fortress, a trap, and a force unlike anything they had ever faced. The first sparks of resistance had become flames, and the storm was far from over. The sky above Earth was no longer calm. Pulses of energy flared from hidden platforms across the continents, illuminating clouds and casting eerie glows over forests, mountains, and oceans. The Galactic Council's fleet faced resistance unlike anything they had anticipated. Captain Liam Torres watched from a ridge as another wave of Council ships faltered in mid-orbit. "They thought they could overwhelm us," he said, voice steady. "They are learning slowly." In the Arctic lab, Dr. Mara Klein's eyes never left the glowing holographic map of Earth and the approaching fleets. Energy grids pulsed in precise sequences, shields extended, and automated countermeasures responded to every detected threat. "They can't anticipate everything," she whispered, "and every failure teaches us more." The first Council commander's voice trembled over the fleet's communication channels. "Pull back. Their defenses are adaptive. Every move we make is countered before we can act." But the humans were only beginning. Underground, engineers activated long-hidden orbital relays, unseen by the Council's sensors. These relays created false signals, drawing the enemy ships into preset ambush zones. Fleets that should have been superior found themselves trapped in invisible grids of energy, unable to maneuver effectively. Captain Torres led his soldiers along hidden paths through forests and canyons. They moved silently, coordinating with remote defense systems. A Council strike team attempted to target one of the hidden bases, but energy nets captured their ship in midair. Explosions and bursts of controlled energy disabled their engines, leaving them drifting helplessly. "They are everywhere," one counselor murmured during a Council chamber briefing. "But we see nothing. How is this possible?" "They use their world itself as a weapon," another replied. "It is not just humans. They are a part of the planet." On Earth, civilians remained unaware. Streets glowed with city lights. Children played in parks. People slept peacefully, not knowing that above them, fleets faltered and ships were destroyed in invisible, perfectly coordinated defenses. Dr. Klein initiated the next phase of the plan. A hidden network of satellites and energy channels directed pulses into the Council's ships, causing their systems to malfunction intermittently. Communication lines scrambled. Navigation went awry. Fleets that were once confident and organized became chaotic and disoriented. Captain Torres observed from a valley as one ship collided with another due to a sudden energy pulse. "This is just the beginning," he said calmly. "They think they can adapt. They are wrong." In the Council chamber, the mood had shifted completely. Whispers replaced confident commands. The horned being's eyes glowed with rare fear. "They are not weak. They are evolving faster than we anticipated. Every strike we make, they turn against us." But humans did not attack blindly. Every action was calculated. Every trap set in advance. Every shield and countermeasure synchronized with real-time predictions of the Council's movements. They were not merely defending. They were teaching, punishing, and preparing for the larger war to come. A Council commander attempted to withdraw a fleet from orbit around Europe, but energy grids rerouted their exit path, forcing the ships back into the fight. Automated defenses disabled their weapons, leaving crews confused and terrified. Captain Torres smiled faintly. "They believe they control the battle," he said. "But the tide is rising, and we are the current." Dr. Klein monitored the energy pulse patterns. Each wave of interference not only disrupted enemy ships but also collected data. Every maneuver, every misstep was cataloged, analyzed, and used to improve defenses instantly. The humans were learning faster than the Council could react. Above the Earth, chaos reigned in the Council's fleets. Ships collided, systems failed, and communication broke down. Their arrogance had blinded them to a simple truth. Humans were not predictable. Humans adapted. Humans survived. And then, from the shadows of the Earth, humans launched their first counteroffensive. Orbital drones, previously hidden from view, struck at Council ships, precise and devastating. Ships were destroyed silently, without warning, and fleets began to retreat in disarray. The Council's laughter from weeks before had vanished. Confidence had turned into panic. Fear replaced certainty. Captain Torres surveyed the aftermath. The fleets were faltering. Ships were disabled. The humans had survived the first wave, and they had struck back. Dr. Klein's voice echoed across the lab. "This is only the beginning. The Council underestimated us, and that will be their greatest mistake. The rising tide of human resistance was unstoppable. The storm had grown, and the galaxy would soon understand what the Council had failed to see. Humans were not weak. Humans were dangerous. The Council's fleets, once confident and organized, were now scattered across Earth's orbit. Ships drifted helplessly, systems malfunctioning, and communication lines scrambled. The arrogance that had guided the galaxy's most powerful beings had been shattered. Captain Liam Torres stood on a cliff overlooking a dark valley, the first light of dawn painting the sky. "They are retreating," he said calmly, "but only because we allow it. Every move they make is part of our plan." In the Arctic lab, Dr. Mara Klein's team monitored every orbital relay, every hidden platform, and every energy pulse. Data from the last counteroffensive was being analyzed in real time. "They are slow to adapt," she said, pointing at the holographic map. "Every mistake they make teaches us. Soon, they won't know what hit them." Below the mountains, soldiers moved with silent precision. New defensive systems activated, extending the invisible grids of energy across continents. Cities, forests, deserts, and oceans were all connected through a network of automated drones, energy fields, and orbital relays. Every hidden installation was synchronized, forming a web that trapped any enemy movement. Above Earth, Council commanders struggled to coordinate their forces. Small skirmishes had turned into chaos. Fleets that should have dominated the orbit were being systematically disabled. Ships collided or drifted into energy nets, while orbital drones struck with pinpoint accuracy. They are everywhere," one counselor muttered, disbelief in their voice. "Everywhere? And invisible. They are not just defending," another whispered. "They are predicting. Every strike we make is anticipated." On the ground, Captain Torres activated a series of hidden signals. Subterranean launch platforms hummed, sending automated drones into orbit. These drones intercepted Council ships, disrupting propulsion systems and navigation. Fleets that had once threatened Earth were now vulnerable. Dr. Klein adjusted energy flows, enhancing shields over major cities. At the same time, orbital relays created decoy signals, confusing enemy sensors and sending them into controlled traps. The humans had learned to manipulate the battlefield itself. The Council's ships attempted a concentrated strike near the Pacific, but energy fields redirected their course. Missiles and laser strikes failed to reach targets as hidden defenses absorbed or deflected every attack. Humans had turned the Council's strength into weakness. Captain Torres observed the chaos from his position. "This is what they don't understand," he said quietly. "They rely on power and numbers. We rely on strategy, patience, and precision." Meanwhile, Dr. Klein initiated the next phase of the plan. Concentrated energy pulses from hidden continental grids targeted Council ships' propulsion systems. Fleets were slowed, many immobilized entirely. Orbital drones finished the job, striking with precision that left no room for escape. In the Council chamber, tension boiled over. "They are controlling the battlefield," a counselor shouted. "Impossible! How can a primitive species dominate our fleets?" The horned being's eyes glowed dark with frustration. "We misjudged them. They are more than we expected. They are dangerous. Prepare for a full withdrawal. Now!" But humans were not finished. Soldiers and drones struck simultaneously at retreating ships, ensuring maximum disruption without exposing themselves. Every attack was controlled, efficient, and calculated to minimize risk while teaching the Council a lesson in human ingenuity. Captain Torres's team advanced into previously uncharted territories, discovering enemy scout ships attempting to regroup. With silent precision, they neutralized each threat, coordinating with orbital drones and energy grids. Humans were now turning defense into offense. Dr. Klein smiled faintly as she watched the Council fleets falter. They thought Earth was weak. They thought humans were predictable. And now, they are learning the truth the hard way. The rising tide of human resistance had become a wave. Fleets that once threatened Earth were scattered, systems disabled, and morale shattered. The first sparks of human ingenuity had become flames of unstoppable force. Above all, the Council realized what had been overlooked for centuries. Humans were not merely surviving. They were evolving, adapting, and mastering a battlefield no one could fully predict. And as Captain Torres looked at the scattered fleets and the glowing defenses of Earth, he knew the storm was far from over. But for the first time, the humans were no longer merely defending. They were taking control. The tide had turned, and the galaxy would never forget it. The Council's fleets, once proud and confident, were now scattered across orbit like broken stars. Ships that had glided through the galaxy unchallenged were crippled, their engines disabled, their weapons jammed. Communication lines were fragmented, leaving commanders shouting orders that went unanswered. Captain Liam Torres watched from a hidden ridge as energy pulses danced across the horizon. "They think they can recover," he said to his unit. "They are wrong. The humans decide the pace now." Deep underground, Dr. Mara Klein monitored orbital relays and continental grids. Her fingers flew across controls, sending signals that manipulated energy fields and weapon systems. "They are moving again," she said quietly, watching the Council attempt to reorganize. "But they are walking into traps we set long ago." Above Earth, orbital drones flared to life. Thousands of them, invisible to the Council's sensors, surged toward enemy ships. They struck with precision, targeting propulsion, shields, and communications. Fleets faltered further. Ships collided as automated energy grids manipulated trajectories. On the ground, soldiers moved like shadows across forests and mountains. Hidden turrets activated, energy nets sprung, and traps disrupted Council strike teams attempting to target bases. Every strike the Council made was countered before it could succeed. "They are everywhere," one counselor muttered, voice trembling. "How can a species so primitive control the battlefield like this?" "They are not primitive," another admitted, eyes narrowing. "They adapt. They predict. Every move we make, they have already accounted for." Captain Torres led a strike team into a canyon where a group of Council scouts had attempted to regroup. With silent precision, the humans neutralized the threat. Orbital drones above assisted, striking simultaneously and leaving no escape. Meanwhile, Dr. Klein activated a new network of energy pulses. These were not merely defensive, they disrupted Council fleet coordination, disabled weapon systems, and created illusions of larger forces than actually existed. The Council's confidence shattered further. A small Council fleet attempted to flee toward the outer system, but orbital drones intercepted them, disabling engines without a single human ship in sight. Every maneuver the Council attempted was countered, delayed, or manipulated. Earth itself had become a living weapon. Captain Torres surveyed the battlefield. "They believed we would defend," he said quietly. "They didn't expect the human surge. Now they see our true strength." The Council's panic escalated. Orders were shouted, but fleets were unresponsive. Ships drifted into energy traps, collided, or were disabled remotely. The arrogance that had guided the galaxy's most powerful beings had been shattered entirely. Dr. Klein smiled faintly. "This is the moment we've prepared for," she whispered. "Every calculation, every hidden system, every soldier and scientist, it all leads to this." Humans were no longer merely defending. They were striking. Coordinated assaults, invisible to enemy sensors, crippled ships, disrupted formations, and forced retreats. Every failed Council maneuver became an opportunity for humans to learn, adapt, and strike again. Above all, the Council realized the terrifying truth. Earth was not just a planet. It was a fortress, a weapon, and a network of unparalleled intelligence. Humans were not just surviving, they were mastering the battlefield. Captain Torres looked at the rising sun. The horizon glowed with energy fields, drone flares, and the faint shimmer of orbital relays. "The storm is coming," he said, "and we are the force behind it." The human surge had begun. The tide had fully turned, and the galaxy would never forget the day Earth fought back. The Council fleets were in chaos. Ships that had once been symbols of power drifted helplessly, disabled by invisible grids and unseen orbital drones. Their communications were fragmented, their formations shattered. Panic had replaced arrogance. Captain Liam Torres stood on a ridge overlooking a valley bathed in the glow of energy pulses. "This is it," he said, voice steady. "Everything we've prepared comes together now. The storm is ours." In the Arctic lab, Dr. Mara Klein's hands danced across holographic controls. Continental energy grids flared simultaneously, cloaking cities, mountains, and forests while launching controlled pulses into enemy ships. "Every system online," she said. "Every defense active. Now the counteroffensive begins." Above Earth, orbital drones surged in coordinated waves. They struck Council ships with precision, disabling engines, scrambling navigation, and creating the illusion of forces far greater than existed. Fleets tried to regroup, but every movement was anticipated. Every retreat was manipulated. On the ground, soldiers moved through forests, canyons, and deserts like shadows. Hidden turrets activated, energy nets captured enemy strike teams, and automated defenses eliminated threats silently. Every Council attempt to target humans failed. "They control the battlefield itself," one counselor shouted in disbelief. "Every move, every energy pulse. It is as if the planet itself fights." "They are humans," another counselor said quietly, eyes narrowing. "But they are something more. They are dangerous." Captain Torres led a squad into a canyon where several Council scout ships had attempted to land. Coordinated strikes from orbital drones and automated turrets neutralized the threats before any human force was at risk. Precision, planning, and patience had made humans unstoppable. Dr. Klein monitored the energy flows. Shields had strengthened over major cities, while decoys and orbital relays misled the Council into wasting their remaining forces. Every attack, every maneuver, every step the Council took played into the humans' hands. One by one, Council ships fell into traps. Engines were disabled, weapons jammed, navigation systems scrambled. Fleets that had seemed unbeatable were now helpless, drifting into the invisible web that humans had woven around their planet. Captain Torres watched the horizon glow with energy, drone flares, and orbital relays. "This is what they never expected," he said. "They thought we were weak. They thought we were predictable. And now they know the truth." The Council's panic reached its peak. Orders were shouted. Fleets attempted escape, but the humans had anticipated every possible exit. Every Council move, once a show of power, became a failure. Dr. Klein smiled faintly. "The storm is not over," she said. "But we've shown them the first lesson. Humans cannot be underestimated." Captain Torres turned to his team. "The battle is ours for now," he said. "But the war has only begun. Prepare for the next phase. The galaxy will never forget Earth." Above, energy grids pulsed one final time. Orbital drones flared across the sky, and hidden defenses activated in perfect coordination. The Council's forces were shattered, retreating in confusion, and humanity stood victorious. For now, the storm had been unleashed, and the galaxy had learned the hard way: humans were not weak. Humans were dangerous,